All right, buckle up, everyone, because today's deep dive is going to take us down a pretty wild rabbit hole.
Oh, yeah, we're going deep on this
We're
one.
cracking open Dolores Cannon's The Convoluted Universe, Book 1.
Convoluted is right.
And yeah, no, it sounds like another history book, right? But trust me, this is anything but your typical textbook stuff.
It's more like history meets the Twilight Zone.
Exactly. Cannon uses past life regressions to reveal some truly mind-blowing stuff. I'm talking lost civilizations, alien encounters, the whole 9 yards.
And it's not just the what that's so fascinating, it's the how. Cannon uses this technique called past life regression to unlock these hidden memories, these hidden experiences buried deep within her subjects.
Okay, back up for a sec. For those who aren't familiar, how does this past life regression thing actually work?
Well, think of it like a guided journey into the subconscious using a specific type of hypnosis.
Hypnosis, huh?
Hmm?
Interesting.
Yeah, and she combines this hypnosis with keywords, almost like passwords, to trigger even deeper recall, to access those memories that are usually hidden from our conscious minds.
So like a key to unlock the secret vault of the past.
Precisely. And what she finds in that vault, well, let's just say it paints a very different picture of reality than we're used to.
Okay, you've got my attention. What kind of memories are we talking about here? Give me an example, something that really stands out.
All right, so there's this one case, a man who recalled a past life as Bartholomew. Now, at first glance, it seemed like a pretty standard past life regression. Bartholomew described living in this secluded kingdom, nothing too unusual, but then things take a very sharp turn.
A sharp turn towards the Twilight Zone, I'm guessing.
You could say that. Bartholomew described accessing this dark, peaceful void while he was sleeping. And get this, it was filled with these strange floating formations of black rock.
A void filled with floating black rocks. Okay, now that's not something you hear every day. Even in past life regressions, that sounds pretty out there.
Even Dolores Cannon herself was surprised by this. She said it was unlike anything she'd encountered before.
So, what did she make of it? Did she offer any explanation for where this vision or memory or whatever it was came from?
Well, it's tough to say for sure. But what's interesting is that this whole Bartholomew experience, as weird as it sounds, it kind of echoes some of the broader themes that keep popping up throughout Cannon's work.
Okay, I'm listening. What kind of themes?
Themes like, oh, the existence of other dimensions, the idea that time isn't linear like we think it is, and this concept that consciousness can somehow travel beyond the limits of the physical body.
My mind is already starting to bend a little here. So we're not just talking about remembering past lives in the traditional sense, but about accessing these other realms, these other realities.
Exactly. And that's where things get really, really interesting. Bartholomew's story, as bizarre as it is, it's just the tip of the iceberg. It's a tiny glimpse into this vast hidden world that Cannon uncovers. A world filled with ancient civilizations and secrets about humanity's place in the cosmos.
All right, you've definitely piqued my curiosity. Let's talk about these civilizations then.
Yeah.
The outline mentioned Atlantis and Lemuria. What did Canon's subjects reveal about them?
Oh, the details that emerged are just incredible. Like with Atlantis, for example, the descriptions go way beyond that typical lost city narrative. They talked about technology that sounds almost like science fiction to our modern ears.
Like what? Give me an example, something that really blew your mind.
Well, for starters, they described the Atlanteans harnessing energy using crystals. Imagine that, crystal power.
Huh, like a giant ancient solar panel?
Something like that. They were using this technology for everything.
Uh-huh.
Powering their cities, their homes. It's mind-boggling to think what we could achieve if we could tap into that kind of knowledge today, right?
Talk about sustainable energy. Okay, what else? Did they have flying cars too?
Haha, not quite flying cars, but they did describe some form of levitation technology. Apparently, they used sound and focused thought to move massive stones during construction.
Wait, so like telekinetic construction workers?
Yeah.
That's wild.
It does sound pretty out there, doesn't it? I mean, it really makes you question everything we think we know about the capabilities of ancient civilizations and maybe even about our own potential.
Right. Makes you wonder if those ancient alien theories might not be so far-fetched after all. So if Atlantis was so advanced, so powerful, what happened? What caused this super civilization to just vanish?
Well, there are a few recurring themes in the regressions, a few different threads that weave together to tell the story. One of those threads is that the Atlanteans, despite their advanced technology, were also believed to possess really strong psychic abilities.
So it wasn't just their gadgets and gizmos that made them special, but their minds as well.
Exactly. But there's a bit of a double-edged sword to that, right? Some subjects describe the Atlanteans becoming, well, a bit arrogant, maybe even power-hungry, using their abilities for selfish reasons, and ultimately upsetting the delicate balance of nature.
Ah, the classic power corrupts story, even in ancient times.
Yeah, it's a cautionary tale for sure. It's a reminder that even the most advanced societies, the most brilliant minds, can fall victim to their own hubris. And the consequences can be devastating.
Makes you think about the potential pitfalls of our own technological advancements, right?
Absolutely. But getting back to Atlantis, how did it all end? Was there a specific event, a final straw that led to their downfall?
Well, the descriptions vary a bit from subject to subject,
Yeah.
but a lot of them mention a combination of natural disasters and self-inflicted destruction, like a perfect storm of chaos.
So, like earthquakes, volcanoes, that kind of thing.
Yeah, they describe earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, even a massive tidal wave. It sounds pretty apocalyptic. Wow, that's intense. So wait, hold on. We've got ancient civilizations with advanced tech, psychic powers, and now a cataclysmic end. And somewhere in this mix, we also have aliens. Did these extraterrestrials have anything to do with Atlantis' downfall?
That's a question that really gets to the heart of Cannon's work. The theme of alien contact, it pops up all over the place. And it's particularly interesting in the context of Atlantis and its sudden disappearance.
Okay, spill the beans. What did canon subjects say about these extraterrestrials? What did these encounters look like?
Well, they described encounters with a whole variety of beings. Some were described as glowing figures, others as pure beings of light, and then there were some that were disguised as animals.
Aliens disguised as animals. Okay, now that's just getting weird.
Right. It's definitely a mind bender. But the point is, all these encounters, they suggest that extraterrestrials may have been way more involved in human affairs than we realize, maybe even playing a role in shaping our history, our evolution.
Okay, I'm officially intrigued. So we've got aliens, psychic powers, a super advanced civilization that's self-destructed. What's the connection here? Did these extraterrestrials have anything to do with Atlantis' downfall? Were they the good guys, the bad guys, or something in between?
It's hard to say for sure, but the regressions do suggest that some extraterrestrials were seen as like benevolent teachers, sharing knowledge and helping guide humanity's development, while others, well, they were described as a bit more manipulative, even conducting genetic experiments on humans.
Genetic experiments. Hold on, are we talking about the origin of those ancient myths and legends here?
Yeah.
Like, could some of those fantastical creatures we hear about be the result of some ancient alien intervention?
It's a possibility that Cannon's work definitely raises, doesn't it? It forces us to rethink our place in the grand scheme of things, not just here on Earth, but within this vast, mysterious cosmos.
This is definitely not your average history lesson. We've got lost civilizations, advanced technology, psychic powers, and now aliens potentially messing around with human DNA. Where do we go from here? This rabbit hole just keeps getting deeper.
Oh, we're just getting started. Cannon's explorations don't stop at ancient history and alien encounters. She goes even deeper into the very fabric of reality itself. We're having parallel universes, the nature of consciousness, the fluidity of time. Get ready for a serious mind meld.
Okay, I'm game. Lead the way.
All right, so let's dive into some of these more, shall we say, mind-bending concepts that Dolores Cannon explores.
Okay, I'm ready for the mind bending. Hit me with it.
Well, one of the biggies, and this is something that comes up a lot in the regressions, is the nature of reality itself. It's a topic that's had philosophers and scientists scratching their heads for centuries.
Yeah, no kidding. It's one of those big existential questions, right?
Yeah.
What is reality, really?
Exactly. And Cannon's work, it offers this really unique perspective on it, this perspective that's informed by these glimpses into these other realms, these other dimensions.
Okay, so where do we even begin with all of that? Last time, we were talking about parallel universes, the idea that time isn't linear the way we normally experience it. What exactly did canon subjects reveal about these concepts? What did they see? What did they experience?
Well, a lot of the subjects, they describe experiencing these parallel lifetimes, like
Yeah.
they're existing simultaneously in different time periods, maybe even in different versions of reality.
So instead of thinking of time as a straight line, it's more like I don't know, a tangled web or something, like all these different possibilities branching out in every direction.
Yeah, that's a good way to picture it. It's this idea that the past, the present, the future, they're not these fixed points, but rather they're all kind of fluid and interconnected, all part of this larger multidimensional tapestry.
So are you saying that everything is happening at once? Like right now, there are versions of us living out all sorts of different lives, making different choices, experiencing different realities. My brain is starting to hurt.
It's a lot to wrap your head around for sure. But the regressions, they seem to suggest that, yeah, in a way, everything is happening all at once, and that we, as conscious beings, we have the potential to tap into these other realities, to connect with these other versions of ourselves.
Okay, but how? How do we tap into these other realities? Is it like, I don't know, building a time machine or something?
It doesn't seem to be about physical travel, not in the way we normally think of it. The regression suggests that it requires a shift in consciousness, a letting go of our rigid perception of time and space.
So it's more like a quantum leap of awareness,
Hmm.
an expansion of consciousness.
Right. It's about accessing those deeper levels of our being, those parts of ourselves that are not bound by the limitations of the physical world. And once we do that, well, who knows what possibilities might open up.
This is some serious Matrix level stuff. Okay, so if we can access these alternate realities, who or what might we encounter there? Are we talking about meeting alternate versions of ourselves, or are there other beings out there, other intelligences?
Well, some subjects they describe encountering beings that seem familiar, like echoes of people they know in their current lives, but different somehow.
So like meeting your doppelganger from another dimension?
Mm.
Creepy and cool at the same time.
Right. And it wasn't always doppelgangers. Sometimes it was beings that they had no connection to in this life, but felt strangely drawn to. And the feelings they described, they were often really powerful, feelings of love, of recognition, of deep connection.
What did Cannon make of these encounters? Did she see them as real? Or as some sort of, I don't know, symbolic representation of something else?
She saw them as evidence of this profound interconnectedness between all things, this idea that we're all woven together, souls and experiences, across multiple realities.
It's like we're all part of this giant cosmic tapestry, and each thread represents a different life, a different possibility, different version of ourselves.
I like that, the cosmic tapestry. And it's not just about these parallel realities. It ties into this idea of individual soul journeys as well, this concept that we're all on this grand adventure of growth and evolution across lifetimes.
Okay, so if we're all connected through this cosmic tapestry, where does free will fit in? Do we have any real control over our destinies, or are we just playing out some predetermined cosmic script?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And it's one that's been debated for centuries. But what's interesting is that the regressions, they seem to point to a kind of middle ground. It's not destiny versus free will. It's more like a dance between the two.
So there's a plan, a cosmic roadmap of sorts, but we have the freedom to choose our own path within that framework.
Exactly. It's like we're given a map, but we get to choose our route.
Mhm.
We can take detours, explore side roads, even get a little lost sometimes. But the overall direction, the ultimate destination, that might be preordained, at least to some degree.
That makes sense. It wouldn't be much of an adventure if we were just blindly following a script, right?
Right. There has to be room for spontaneity, for creativity, for those unexpected twists and turns that make life interesting. But there's another element to this whole soul journey thing that we need to talk about.
Okay, lay it on me.
Karma. The regression suggests that karma plays a huge role in shaping our soul's past, our experiences across multiple lifetimes.
So, like, what we do in this life has consequences that echo out into future lives. What goes around comes around kind of thing.
Yeah, it's like this cosmic accounting system, this balancing of the scales where actions have consequences that ripple out across time and space. It's not about punishment or reward, though. It's about learning and growing, about understanding the interconnectedness of all things.
So our choices matter, not just in this life, but in the grand scheme of our soul's evolution.
Exactly. The choices we make, they create these energetic patterns that influence our experiences in future lifetimes. It's like we're weaving our own destiny, thread by thread, choice by choice.
That's a pretty powerful reminder to be mindful of our actions, to make choices that align with our highest good, not just for ourselves, but for everyone and everything around us. But if karma's real, if our actions have these far-reaching consequences, doesn't that mean we're kind of trapped in this cycle of cause and effect? Is there any way to break free?
That's where forgiveness comes in. Forgiveness both for ourselves and for others. It's about recognizing that we all make mistakes, that we all have things we regret, and that holding on to that guilt, that resentment, it keeps us stuck in these negative patterns.
So forgiveness is like a cosmic reset button, way to clear the slate and start fresh.
You could say that. It's about releasing the past and choosing to move forward with love and compassion. And it's not always easy, you know? Some of those wounds, those karmic knots, they can run deep. But the regression suggests that forgiveness is essential for breaking free from these cycles of pain and suffering, for truly liberating the soul.
That makes sense. It's about learning from our mistakes, growing from our experiences, and ultimately choosing to evolve. But what about those who seem to be stuck in those negative patterns, the ones who keep making the same mistakes over and over again, life after life? Are they doomed to repeat those patterns forever?
No, not at all. Even those souls who seem to be caught in these negative cycles, they still have the potential for growth and transformation. It might take multiple lifetimes, it might require a lot of work, but the possibility of change, it's always there.
That's reassuring. It means that it's never too late to learn, to grow, to evolve, even on a soul level. But if we're all on this grand journey of spiritual evolution, where are we headed? What's the end goal? What are we striving for?
Ugh, that's the ultimate mystery, isn't it? The regressions, they offer glimpses, hints and whispers, but there's no one definitive answer. Some subjects, they describe the ultimate goal as merging with the God source, returning to this state of oneness, this pure consciousness, where all distinctions dissolve. And others, they describe a kind of continuous journey, a never-ending exploration of consciousness across multiple realities, always learning, always growing, always evolving.
So some are seeking ultimate unity, while others are more like cosmic explorers, forever seeking new experiences, new adventures.
Yeah, I guess you could say that. And it speaks to this incredible diversity of experiences, this incredible richness and complexity within this vast tapestry of existence. But there's one question we haven't really addressed yet.
What's that?
What about Earth? Where does it fit into all of this? Is it just a temporary stopover on our soul's journey, or does it play a more significant role?
That's a great question. It's easy to get caught up in all this cosmic stuff, the parallel universes, the aliens, all of that. But at the end of the day, we're here on this planet living these lives.
Exactly. And the regressions, they offer some really interesting insights into Earth's role in all of this. Some subjects described Earth as a kind of school for the soul, this unique and precious place where we come to learn and grow through this incredible range of experiences.
So Earth is like a cosmic boot camp for souls.
Yeah, in a way, it's a challenging place, full of contrasts and contradictions, joys and sorrows, triumphs and tragedies. But it's through those challenges, through those experiences, that we learn, that we grow, that we evolve.
Okay, that makes sense. But if Earth is so special, what about all the other planets and star systems out there? Are we the only ones? Are we alone in the universe? Or are there other beings out there on their own evolutionary journeys?
That's a question that's haunted humanity since we first looked up at the stars, right? Are we alone? In Cannon's work, it suggests that, no, we're not alone. The universe is vast and mysterious, and the regressions, they hint at a cosmos teeming with life, with consciousness, with possibilities beyond our wildest dreams.
So we're not the only ones.
Uh-huh.
That's both exciting and a little scary at the same time.
Right. It's a humbling thought, realizing that we're part of something much bigger than ourselves, something that extends far beyond the limits of our little planet. But the real question is, what's our relationship to these other beings? Are they watching us, guiding us, maybe even intervening in our affairs?
That's what I want to know. And that's where things get really interesting, really trippy.
Exactly. And that's what we'll be exploring in the final part of our deep dive. We'll be delving into this idea that reality, as we know it, might be far more malleable, far more subject to manipulation than we ever imagined.
Okay, now we're getting into some serious X-Files territory. I can't wait. Okay, so we're back for the final part of our deep dive into Dolores Cannon's The Convoluted Universe. We've gone from past lives to Atlantis, aliens, parallel universes. I mean, this has been a wild ride.
Oh, yeah, we've covered a lot of ground, but we're not done yet. We left off talking about this idea that the reality we experience every day, might not be as fixed and solid as we tend to think.
Yeah, like The Matrix.
The Matrix, exactly. And, this isn't just some sci-fi concept. The regressions, they suggest that reality might be more like a fluid, ever-changing canvas, and that our thoughts, our beliefs, even our collective consciousness, they're all contributing to the painting.
So, like, we're not just passive observers, we're active participants in creating reality.
It seems that way. And if that's true, that raises some pretty big questions, like who or what is directing this cosmic art project? Are we all just kind of painting our own little corner of the universe, or is there some grand design, some bigger picture at play?
Yeah, exactly. If our thoughts have this power, this ability to shape reality, where is it all coming from? Is there some kind of cosmic blueprint, a master plan that we're all part of, whether we know it or not?
It's a question that haunted Dolores Cannon, too. And in her work, she explores this idea that, yeah, there might be these beings, these energies, these higher intelligences that are influencing the course of events, kind of nudging humanity in certain directions, maybe even orchestrating experiences to help us evolve.
So, like cosmic gardeners,
Yeah.
tending to the garden of humanity.
Yeah, something like that. It's a bit of a mind bender, right? This idea that we might not be as in control as we think we are.
It definitely makes you question the whole concept of free will, right? If there are these beings guiding our evolution, how much choice do we really have?
That's the dilemma. And the regressions, they offer a few different perspectives on this. Some subjects describe these beings as respecting our free will, allowing us to make our own choices, even if those choices lead us down some pretty dark paths.
But there's also the idea that maybe we're not ready for the full picture, right? That too much truth, too much knowledge might be overwhelming for us at this stage of our evolution.
That's another thread that emerges, this idea that full disclosure might be too disruptive, that it could throw humanity into chaos.
It's like we need to grow into that knowledge, evolve to a point where we can handle the truth without, you know, completely freaking out and blowing everything up.
Exactly. It's a delicate balance. But getting back to that bigger picture, that cosmic plan, what's the ultimate goal? What's it all about?
Yeah, that's the big question. What's the point of this whole cosmic drama?
It's a question that philosophers have been wrestling with for centuries. And the regressions, they offer these tantalizing glimpses, these hints and whispers, but no definitive answers. Some subjects describe this epic battle between light and darkness, this cosmic struggle playing out across multiple dimensions, across timelines, a battle for the very soul of the universe.
Wow. It sounds almost mythological, like those ancient stories of gods and demons, good versus evil. Where do we fit into all of this? Are we just pawns in this cosmic game, or do we have the power to influence the outcome?
That's where Dolores Cannon's work gets really inspiring, I think. It suggests that we're not just helpless bystanders, that we have the power to shape our own reality, our own destiny. Our thoughts, our beliefs, our actions, they all have consequences, not just in our own lives, but in the grand scheme of things.
So it's not about waiting for some external savior, some divine intervention to fix everything. It's about taking responsibility for our own evolution, for the kind of world we want to create.
That's the message, yeah. It's about realizing that we're not powerless, that we have this incredible potential within us, this connection to something much greater than ourselves, and that we can tap into that power to make a positive difference.
So it's about awareness, about conscious choice, about aligning our intentions with, uh, I guess, with the highest good of all.
Yeah, about recognizing our interconnectedness, understanding that our actions have ripple effects that extend far beyond ourselves, far beyond this moment in time. It's a pretty powerful message, I think, and one that's more relevant now than ever.
Well, this has been quite a journey. Our deep dive into the convoluted universe has taken us through past lives, lost civilizations, alien encounters, the nature of reality. It's definitely challenged my perceptions, expanded my view of what's possible.
It's definitely a mind-stretching experience diving into Dolores Cannon's work. It makes you realize that the universe is far more complex, far more mysterious, and far more wondrous than we could ever imagine.
I'm walking away from this with a lot to think about, that's for sure. And I have a feeling our listeners are too. So before we wrap up, any final thoughts for those who are still processing all of this?
Let me see. I think Dolores Cannon herself said it best. The truth is stranger than fiction. So keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep an open mind. Who knows what incredible discoveries await us just beyond the horizon of our understanding?
Well said. And to all our listeners out there, thanks for joining us on this incredible journey. Until next time, keep those minds open, those hearts compassionate, and keep exploring the vast mysteries of the universe.